You hear the word cult, and you think of secrecy and control. In Fiji, this was not fiction. A real group rose from a small spiritual circle and turned into a national threat. People followed it. People feared it. The group grew until it touched homes, villages, and politics. You are watching HEH. Fiji is a country built on village networks and strong community bonds. These bonds created trust. This trust opened a door for a group that first introduced itself as a movement for spiritual healing and discipline. It began with promises of personal growth. It offered strict routines, prayer sessions, and lessons about purity. Many people felt pressure from economic change and political shifts. They wanted stability. The group offered certainty. Members joined because they wanted direction. The leader used simple claims about moral strength. He said he could fix social problems. He said he could protect people from the chaos outside their villages. He said he had answers that no one else had. These claims gave him influence. The group demanded loyalty from the start. It asked members to cut ties with outsiders. It told them the outside world was corrupt. It told them they must give their full time to the movement. Members handed over savings. They moved into controlled communities. They followed orders from the leader's inner circle. Survivors later described a system of constant monitoring. They could not speak freely. They could not question instructions. They lived in fear of punishment. The group used isolation to deepen control. Many members lived far from towns. They had no access to independent voices. The leader used this to reshape their thinking. He created daily rituals that kept people busy and tired. He used public humiliation to enforce obedience. The group expanded into business operations. It opened farms and workshops. Members worked long hours with no pay. The leader said the work was holy. The group gained money. Money increased its reach. The leader developed ties to public officials. Some officials saw the group as a disciplined force. Others stayed silent because they feared political fallout. This silence allowed the group to grow stronger. It created training centers that looked like religious schools, but operated like camps. Recruits went through strict routines. They learned to follow orders without hesitation. They were taught to distrust the state. The group leaders controlled marriages, living arrangements, and travel. Nothing happened without permission. Families outside the group grew desperate. They tried to contact their relatives. Many were blocked or threatened. Local journalists started to investigate. They collected testimonies from former members. They published stories about beatings, threats, and forced labor. These reports shook the country. Public concern increased. Pressure on the government intensified. Authorities launched raids on the group's compounds. Members were taken into protective custody. Leaders were arrested. Trials revealed the extent of abuse. Victims spoke about years of control. They described violence used to maintain obedience. They described constant fear. The court hearings exposed financial exploitation. The group had taken large amounts of money and property from its followers. The collapse of the cult forced Fiji to look at how it happened. Communities realized that trust can be used by dangerous leaders. The country introduced stronger oversight on groups that claimed spiritual authority. It created programs to help victims reintegrate. Families reunited after long separation. The story shows how power can grow quickly when people feel uncertain. It shows how control spreads when a leader uses fear and isolation. Fiji moved forward. The lesson remains for any society that faces pressure, instability, or rapid change.